If you're like me, you've probably seen those videos on YouTube or TikTok of people dominating with crazy builds. Most of the time, they're Smurfs playing in low elo. Have you ever wondered what would happen if an average player played it in their own elo? Well, if you have, then you're in luck. I'm an extremely average player that'll be playing 5 games with off-meta strategies to see if it's any good and if I can get any wins. This time, I'll be trying full crit Irelia. Irelia is a mechanically intensive champion that spikes very hard with Blade of the Ruined King and even Vampiric Scepter, with a heavy emphasis on her ability to lifesteal and embrace her role as a bruiser. Let's try turning her into a full crit ADC instead. Send a prayer for my LP. So starting off with game 1, we're already going strong with a great message from Karma to our Draven, always a great sign. We are against a Xin Zhao top with Hail of Blades, so we'll see how crit Irelia does. I walk in here, instantly get chunked by Xin Zhao. I tried to fight back, but that clearly did not work. So now, I have to leave. I base, TP back. I look for a trade here. Land the stun. And you can see that I'm getting gapped by this Xin Zhao. Bird my flash, and I barely live. The wave is coming here, and Nefiri banks me out with the gank. I failed to reset my Q, but luckily it turns out okay and we get the kill. I push out the wave. I didn't notice Xin Zhao actually TP'd on a ward, and now I am for sure dead. And they get the Feat of Warfare. I'm looking to build a Yun Tal this game. Didn't get BF, so pretty unlucky. Now I'm back here collecting the wave. He greeds here to look for a plate, and I punish him. He takes 2 tower shots, so I know it's my chance to go in. As soon as my Q comes back up, he'll die, but Nefiri's also here to back me up. I get the Q, and Nefiri picks up the kill. Looking for another trade here. We're both level 6. Looks like a good fight. I'm trying to heal a bit off these minions here, not realizing I don't have Vamp Scepter. He hits level 7, which is unfortunately the deciding factor in that fight. And I go down, with still not enough for BF. I eventually come back, I farm a bit, and you can see our Ziggs went AFK, so we now have a surrender vote, which does not go through. So Irelia will really have to carry this one. We can see here, we're just chilling, looking for, baiting for the Nefiri gank that comes over here. See if we can make this happen. Pretty low. Xin Zhao looks like he's baiting for someone, and he is with the Janna. I did not see the NATO. I get knocked up, and unfortunately, I do die. With 2k, and they do get the grubs from that. You can see, still not having Yuntal, but I'm getting a gank from my support, my jungler again, getting bailed out. Go on the Xin Zhao, channel my W, and I pick up the kill. Very nice. Finally have Yuntal, looking for my IE next, as I'm looking through the items here, deciding on what I want to build, but eventually I do decide on IE. There's a fight here I'm going towards. You can see stun the MF who's channeling. I think I should have shot my ult the other way, but that's okay. The camera here is also disgusting. Flash on top of MF, barely get the kill. And I had W here. If I press W instead of trying to get that last auto, I think I could have gotten one more kill. But as you can see here, they portal out, and somehow, right here, I get the kill. See here, we're looking for another fight. Another FF vote, which does not go through again, because we're very confident that we can carry 4v5. And I'm looking here to 2v1, since I know it won't be able to run from Janna. I land the stun. I'm looking to go back in here, shoot the R. Going on the MF. The barrier almost gets me, but luckily we do get the MF. Here the Janna tries holding the tower. Not sure how this is going to work out. I try to bait some of her abilities here by not hitting her and surprising her with the stun. Damage there, that crit, big crit there, and she does go down. And then I agreed for this tower, but Vigar comes here, and unfortunately I'm looking pretty dead. Land the stun. Not quite. But I do pick up the full IE here. So 2 item. 50% crit. On the side lane, we see Xin Zhao, equal level. I have my 2 item spike. And I'm looking for the all-in. And the power of crit Irelia is coming in. They do get the Drake here. We're posturing around Atacon. As you can see here, my Nephiri is looking for something. I land the stun. Not quite good enough to go in, though. Our Draven is farming mid, and we don't have Ziggs, so we're 3v4 here, 3v5. And the MFR completely zones us off. And my Nephiri dies to the Z combo, Vigar Cage. And I'm trying to see if they have vision in here. And it looks like they do, so I'm backing off. Season's out here. I tried to save Draven's life with the flash stun. Does not land. Pretty abysmal, but we do pick up the kill. And we come back to see that they've gotten Atacon. I'm trying to see if they're low. We can get another kill, but not quite. And unfortunately here, I'm trying to run, but it's not going to work out. And I get stunned. And I try to trade some damage before I die, but it does not quite work out as the MF lives. And I have 2.5k. I pick up Essence Reaver. I'm 75% crit. We get another FF vote, which again does not go through. Since we are trying to make this 45 work surprisingly close, if you can see the scoreboard on the top right, we're actually hanging in there pretty well. So Xin Zhao is here again. Nephiri is coming to back me up. I wait for him to use his E, and I'm going in here. Might have had the 1v1, but Nephiri is here to back me up. I'm gonna pick up the kill. Posturing mid here. I get slowed by Janna and MF. And it looks like we're looking for something. I go in. I flash. I autoed a minion, which was the difference between him living and him dying. Pretty disgusting by me, honestly. But we do end up losing that fight there. It took basically a 3v4, 3v5, and they get the Baron from that. And we're trying to hold. They have 2 inhibs. We're all up, all 4 of us. Karma goes down, and we're trying to hold. I try to auto a bit. MFR zones us off the tower, but I know that if I don't go in now, the Nexus is over, so I look for something here, but it doesn't quite work out. And game 1 with Crit Irelia does not work out too well, although the damage is actually pretty good, but it's still a loss. Alright, moving on to game 2, we are now versus Quinn, hoping to get a better result than last time. I came to lane a little late, instantly got chunked a little bit. I'm deciding here if I want to switch up my build because Yuntel felt pretty bad, so I'm thinking maybe Collector here might be a little bit better to give me that boost early. And as I'm thinking about that, I walk up and get chunked even more. But I wait for the wave to come to me, and I'm looking for an all-in here, level 3. Channel my W, she bounces the wrong way. I should have queued that minion there. And we auto her, and eventually we do get the kill. Trade flashes. Looking pretty good, off to a much better start than last game. See, I come back to lane with 2 long swords, and I'm looking for another trade. She E's in. Barely hit the stun. It's looking very good. Melee range versus Quinn. 1 more Q picks up the kill. And it's looking very good for Crit Irelia this time. We're going to be very accelerated. See here, I push out the wave. I take 2 tower shots here. Pretty bad. I'm running for my life. And wouldn't you know it, the elusive 440 scuttle, I run into Elise. And although my Silas is close by, not quite. And I feed over the shutdown. So coming back to lane here, I got the pickaxe, and the wave looks very good for me. I'm looking for a trade here, waiting for her to burn something, but she doesn't. Silas is also here, and we do pick up the kill there. Very good. And I'm getting a plate here. I'm looking to leave as Quinn starts trading damage on me, but she walks up a little bit too far, and I land the stun, and I look for an all-in. She walks back melee range, and I get the kill. Very lucky. And I do pick up the Collector. Back to lane here, Collector damage, big spike, big crit right there. She E's the wrong way. I have no Q, but I flash on her with ult, and I pick up the kill, plus 25 from the Collector. We get the first tower, she's back to lane. She doesn't realize the power of Crit Irelia, so we go in, and she burns flash and still dies. We get the grubs here, and then we go back to farming the Quinn camp. She uses E, so now she has no escape. Land the stun. And another quick plus 25 from the Collector. She's channeling mid. I land the stun, pick up the kill, but Vigar traps me in the cage. I dodge the W, but I eat the Elise Cocoon from Fog, and I know that I'm pretty dead here, so I try to trade some damage. Dying with 3.4k, pretty bad for me not to have based there. But I do eventually pick up the full IE, and my death does give Drake, which is pretty bad, but I'm back splitting top, seeing if I can draw some people to me and make a crazy outplay. I see Elise here, and I want to bait the repel. I go on her. She doesn't use it. She waits for the stun. Very well played. I'm trying to see if I can look, but Vayne comes here, and I know that they're going to chase me down, so I look to turn, and I get the double with the crits. Huge damage, but unfortunately Quinn comes. I have no Q, and I die. But actually, the crit was pretty good there. It did a lot of burst. Managed to get those 2 kills. And then you can see here, I'm looking at the crit animation. You can see it's pretty nice. It's like a stabbing with the blades almost. Only downside is it does make farming a little hard sometimes with the crits. But I'm back top. You can see Elise is holding me again. This time Quinn is here. And unfortunately, my stun misses. And I'm trying to trade one onto the Elise, but it doesn't quite work out. And I go down. See here, I'm posturing mid. Tom Kench lands the W, so I commit with the flash and ult. And then we do pick up the Vigar here. I accidentally run into the cage, thankfully out of range of the tower, and I get out. That kill gets us the Drake. I get the shield bow this time, different build. And I'm TPing mid here for a flank. See here, Elise Zanya's, so I'm hoping to land E. Doesn't quite work out. I ult and pick up the Quinn. And I'm looking to chase Elise, but she looks pretty out. So instead, I see the Vigar. I go right on him with a big crit right there. Unfortunately, he cages and I have no flash. But I see the Vayne here is on the Silas. So we start chasing her down. And as I try to test out my crits on her head, and I cut her off here, make her go up into the TK that's coming from base. And she knows she's pretty dead, so she has to turn. I luckily land my stun on the Vayne as she's mid-tumble. And I get really big crits here and pick up a double. Very nice. We get the Atacon from that. Then I base. Working towards LDR. We get the Drake for free as they're winning the bot side fight. As I'm recalling, I see that they're pushing top, so I TP here to try to hold the tower. And I'm getting kind of greedy here. I'm thinking I can make a play. I throw my R, Elise dodges it. I'm onto the Quinn. And unfortunately, I eat the Cocoon and get 100 to 0'd as I have my flash up. If only I flashed an ability there, I think that would have been a free double. All I had to do was dodge the Cocoon, but I'm an Inter. So here again, looking for the Vayne Yuumi. I missed the stone on the Yuumi. Pretty disgusting. Vayne kites me out very well. Burns flash for no reason though, which is actually pretty big. Pretty int for me, honestly. But we do end up winning the fight later because they have no sums. MFR completely shreds Vayne and Quinn, and she picks up the triple. See here, that leads us to the Baron as we're setting up around Baron, looking for a fight. Our Silas goes down. Kiana lands a big R onto the Elise, and she dies. Kiana Q goes wide. Vigar cages. No cage is down, so I'm looking to fight. I walk into the cage as it's expiring, but somehow they walk into my stun. I get a free double here. I shoot my R into Oblivion. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that R. But I base, pick up Mortal Reminder, and then I TP here. You can see that there's a fight here. A little late. Baron goes down. I try to pick up the Quinn here. Unfortunately, don't get anything. And we're slow chasing the Elise here. We eventually catch up. She repels. Zanya's mid-air. Looks pretty freaky. But I do KS for the 16th kill. And with the Baron, we run it down mid. And we look to end the game. So game 2 is a win. Irelia isn't too bad so far. Into squishies. Has very good burst damage. But you can see that... Oh my... Pretty disgusting gameplay from me, but you can see we do pick up the win for game number 2. So moving on to game number 3 here, we reverse Jax, and this time I'm hoping to build Bork and then full crit first, since we'll still have 100% crit if we're full build. So that is the current game plan that I'm rolling with this game. Again, no audio, sorry about that, something messed up with the recording. You can see early on, just getting a few trades with the Jax. Level 3 here, looking for it all in. Missed the stun. Proc his bone plating though. He jumps in. I hit the W. Pop my potion and biscuit. Start trading autos. He's taking the minions. I auto and then flash. And very luckily get that kill with 1 HP. I reset, come back. Start training again. Didn't pop his bone plating. Should have done that first before going in. But I didn't reset my Q or else I would have queued after him. See here, level 6, level 4. I'm taking the trade. I didn't realize Udyr was in the bush. And I go down. If I played that better, might have been able to win. You see I pick up Vamp Scepter. I know, not crit. I was going Bork first this game to see. Jax goes in on me with ult. So I use W to try to soften up the minions. I didn't reset my Q. I thought my Q would one-shot that backline minion. Fortunately, it does not. Pyke shows up, burns my flash, and I look to reset. Unfortunately, not super well played by me, but it's okay, because I'll base and come back is what I think when my recall gets canceled by Pyke. I try again, same result. Pyke is still here, and I'm looking to leave. Pyke is zoning me from the wave, but when the minions come, I know that he can't hit his Q through the minions, so I walk out. He E's back, scared of my stun, and I think about recalling in this bush, but I know that he'll cancel me again, so I walk a little bit further back this time, and lo and behold, he does try to cancel with Q. I know he has no Q. He can't reset me, is what I think, but he flash autos me to reset. I Q after him, get hit by the stun, not my smartest move, and I'm chasing after here with very little HP. I run into another Q. I go in, and I do pick up the kill, although I think he could have just autoed me once and I would have died. Coming back to lane here, looking for a trade. Pyke is still here. I think I made him a little bit upset. He drops the ignite. I get R to both of them, pick up the Pyke, and I'm looking for the Jax here, trading autos. Pretty sure I win. He eventually does back off, and Warwick picks up the kill a little bit later. And after a while of us losing, the surrender vote comes in, and I'm thinking that, well, since I kind of am going against the spirit of the challenge by rushing Bork first, I figure I might as well hit yes on the surrender and try again next game. And we do end up losing game number 3 here. Alright, so moving on to game 3, we are versus Garen. I've now decided to go full crit and not cheat and build Bork first because I realize games might not even go that long. So we get a pretty good trade here. Early game, just looking to push out as Irelia. Here, Garen goes very aggressive on me, and I look to fight back. Miss my stun. I feel like he's baiting me, but I still go forward anyway. And lo and behold, Hecarim shows up, and I die, even though I think I might have lost that anyway. Here, it's like a dumb trade, and just got destroyed. Should have given up the wave. Instead, I die and give up a huge wave. So already pretty bad. I bought a coal for some reason. Don't know why. Collecting the wave at my tower. Hecarim shows up again. I completely miss my R. I flash nothing, and I get ulted and die again. Off to a bad start. You can see here, I have my Dirk working towards Collector this game. Taking a trade for some reason. Don't know why. Trading level down, items down into a wave. I see Mundo here, and I think I can bait it for him. Unfortunately, I underestimate the damage a little bit, and I go down way too early. Mundo comes here, but he's 2 levels down, and I did not trade enough damage. So another int by me. Game's not going off to a good start. They get the grubs. Here under my tower again. Just looking to collect the wave now. Hecarim shows up again. I get silenced. My Q doesn't reset. I ult way too late, and I don't trade a kill here. And I lose my tower. I'm 0-5, and they had 5 kills. It's a pretty bad start. They get the Drake. And I'm just looking to farm up a little bit here, trying to get my items. I have full collector now. See this fight here, it's looking pretty good. That Kale R completely turns the fight though, and it looks terrible. I'm here to see if I can pick up a kill on anyone who's low, like the Kale here. I thought about it, and I do end up flashing for this. And I go into the Garen here, trying to see if I can get one more. Collector actually gets me that kill, which is huge. So it's actually Collector diff there. I still have 1 stack on the Cole. Pretty unlucky here, but I have 2k now, and I'm finally a little bit relevant. Finally picked up some kills. Won't get my account banned. Surrender vote comes out, and I hit no. Have to redeem myself. I respawn. I see that they're still fighting mid, so I TP here, see if I can get anything done. See the Hecarim as I'm flying past. I'm thinking maybe we can get this guy and get potential shutdown on him. I land the stun. I have 3 stacks here. I should have used another Q or my Biscuit. Either one would have been good. But we eventually do get the shutdown. 1 can to Kiana is pretty big, but we do end up all dying for it. Pretty bad versus Kale Smolder for us to be giving kills. Here I'm splitting again. I see Kale awfully aggressive. I feel like someone's behind, but I go in anyway. She ults. I see the Garen, and I know I have to try to trade here. Collector gets me another kill there, and I die to the ult as I'm working towards IE. I respawn here. I see they're pushed up pretty far. I TP, see if I can get anything done. I drop E1, see if I can surprise someone with the second part of the stun. He's a little bit out of range, and I have to fall back a little bit. I'm scared of the Teemo blind. There it is. Garen comes out of the bush. He lives. Kiana picks him up. Another shutdown to Kiana. Pretty big. Trying to see if we can get anything done. We're all a little bit low. Kiana gets another kill. Very good. And we fall back. I respawn here. We're pinging Atacon, but it's already gone. And here, they're fighting mid. I see Teemo is by himself. See if I can pick up a quick kill. The blind comes in. I have channel W to get the kill. And I flash out just in case. And we're chasing mid here. Kiana flashes in. We get the Smolder flash. We're CC chaining Garen. I do go down. We do get Garen. And we do get the Smolder. 2 for 2. Not the worst. Get some objective bounties with a Drake. But it looks like that we're all going to die for it. As Hecarim ults in. And they get aced, but we get the Drake. They end up getting Baron for that ace, which is pretty bad. And here, I based. I'm looking for the flank onto the Kale. I miss my E. I go in anyway. She's polyed. She manages to get the ult off. Though I get the Kale, we all, maybe not all, but a lot of us die for it. Since they have Baron, they're going to look to push and eventually end the game. Vayne tries a hero flank. Does not work out. And eventually they do push and end the game. Game 3 is a loss. Irelia, this game, kind of my bad. I inted way before that was even a factor. But eventually, Irelia and a Collector did get me some kills, which is pretty massive. But we'll see if we can do better in Game 4 and look to pick up some more wins. Game 5 here versus Shen. All the marbles on the line. You can see here, I'm playing the early game very bad. Taking these terrible trades versus Grasp. And I'm 1 HP here. I greed my flash. And he does not greed his flash. And I end up dying. See, we're both level 6 here. I miss my stun. He uses his barrier there. I'm looking for the trade here. He taunts me. And I end up going down again. 0-2. Pretty bad looks. You can see here again. Playing with a little bit of tilt. I see he uses his ability there. So I decide to all in him. But I'm sitting on pickaxe, double longsword. He has full tabby. Kind of close, but not quite. Here I greed for 2 minions, plus 28 gold. And I realize I have nothing up, no flash, no abilities. I just have to try to fight this one out. And I don't get the kill there. 0-4, pretty bad. I end up getting Drake. I'm sitting on Collector components, finally get Collector. But now I'm 0-4. See here, I'm getting collapsed on by enemy bot lane, which is Yunara Gragas. I look to try to make a play. Flash, land stun Yunara. I cancel an auto there, which actually might have been the difference. Potentially, if you could kill and not a kill. But I do end up living. Here I'm holding the wave. I see Malzahar's roaming. I just gotta keep them interested while Malzahar comes up. He's finally here. Gotta get that cannon first. Ults the Shen. I hold my stun for a second. And I do KS the kill with the Collector. Pretty good on the board. They get the Ocean Drake here. And you see we're fighting mid. I'm looking to rotate. Graves slows me down. But I do see the Shen here. Land the stun. Burn my ult. Sending it onto Shen. And I do pick up the kill here with the Collector. 2 kills. I'm slowly getting back in the game. Here I'm greeting for the tier 2. I see the Gragas. Not a concern. But then I see the Shen ult. And I know that I have to try to kite this while the rest of my team gets here. I dodge the taunt. Getting CC'd. Channel the W. 1 auto. Can't believe that collector didn't proc. And unfortunately, I do go down for the tier 2. They get the Herald here. They're looking to use it top lane, so I'm trying to hold my tower. I want to clear out the wave. See if I can save this. Waiting for Graves to crash into the tower here, or farming a little bit. He decides to not go for the tower. Very smart. He actually goes into our jungle, where Jace is, and I'm thinking this is a free kill. Suddenly Gragas shows up though, it's not looking great, and turns out the rest of their team is already here, and I go down as well with the FF boat coming through, although we do not surrender. Not yet. We are posturing around Drake. You can see Mal's ults the Gragas. I play this pretty terrible. Gragas actually misses his body slam over the wall, and Malzahar picks it up with the dot of his E and Comet. See, I based, running mid. Our team is trying to make a play. Draven gets flash ulted by Gragas, and the fight looks pretty bad. But I'm here. Malzahar turns with his ult. I get the stun onto one person. I really want Yunara. I don't splash her with my R, and I pick up a double with the collector procs. So now I'm sitting on 2k. I base for LDR. I TV back. We get Atacon since Rindra is still dead. And the game is actually looking not bad. Pretty close game, although we're down 3 drags. See here, just picking up some side lane farm. Our team is pushing. I see the Shen here and the Yunara. They're looking to make a play on me, but the rest of my team is collapsing. I notice at the stall time, I flash the taunt, go back onto Yunara. Trying to trade a kill here if I die. Yunara's 1 HP. The team comes, we get the kill. And we also get Shen as well. 2 for 0, and Malzahar solo killed Graves. Very nice. I base, I come back. I barely land the E on the Syndra here because Malzahar gets his Rylai's slow. And the game is looking great. And I somehow have a bounty after my abysmal start. And posturing for Drake here. 15 seconds. They're on soul point. So this is very important. Pushing the bot wave here. I see pings to go in. The team is collapsing, and I think, okay, let's send it. I go into Shen at first. I was hoping to splash Graves with my ult. I don't quite get it. The rest of my team is going for Graves, so I'm stuck with the 1v1 with Shen. And you can see Irelia here, pretty strong. We 1v1 the Shen, we get that kill, and we get the Drake. Stop them from getting soul. And the game is alive. I pick up the shield bow here, thinking about what I want. I end up settling for a GA component. And you see the team here is 3v5 mid, and unfortunately they get collapsed on and fall. Just pretty bad. Just Quinn and I up, support Quinn, and they're posturing on Baron. I think I have, in my mind, I have flash here, but I really don't. So I land the 2-man stun. I go in, I try to ult flash, it doesn't work. I end up 1-man ulting the Shen, pretty bad. And I get CC chained here, die, and they also get Baron. Pretty int from me. But the game is still alive. We're deep in their jungle. They get another kill. We get collapsed on. It's just Malzahar and I left on the side lanes. And we have to try to hold with just 2 people. But you can see here, I get Q by Gragas, I get ulted in, I don't use flash, I end up going down, and they end up getting the win. It's pretty unfortunate. Definitely could have played better, but still a loss regardless. So overall, 1 win, 4 losses. Wouldn't really recommend this strategy. No lifesteal, no tankiness, feels pretty bad to play, as well as farming feels terrible when you crit only half the time, and you're banking on your crit to reset your Q. Overall, would not try this in your ranked games, but at least we got 1 win. So I doubt there will be anyone that watches this, but let me know if you have any other ideas for strategies moving forward. Thanks.